Hi, this is Kyle with Yonder South. Today I'm going to be installing the RetraxPRO MX retractable bed cover onto my Ford F350. So follow along as we work our way through the install. Alright, so I've already got the shipping materials off of the canister after I removed it out of the box. And be sure that you save one of these plastic pieces that comes installed in it to hold it in place, because we're going to use one end of that as our spacer when we go to install it in the truck, and you'll see that in a little bit. So we're going to start by pulling our blanket of our bed cover 6 to 8 inches out of the canister, and then we're going to line these rollers up with the proper bed rail for this side. And you can tell which side is which by these tabs. You want the toothed part of the tabs to be facing towards the inside, the middle part of your canister. So we're just going to line those rollers up and get them started down our rail here. Alright, before you go to slide your topper, your blanket into your rail, you want to be sure that this latch is opened up, as I just found out. Otherwise you'll sit here and fight with it and it's in the locked position, so of course it's not going to move inside the rail. So be sure you got this unlatched, and then your bed cover will slide right in your rail. Imagine that. And get everything lined up. We're gonna get our screw hole here in the back lined up with the hole in this bracket, and then we'll tighten it down with one of the provided screws. Alright, so now that we've got our bed rail in place, we're going to go ahead and put in our back screw. Alright, so we've got this side installed on the canister. So now we're going to move to the other side and do the exact same thing. Here again, we're going to be sure our blanket's pulled out just a little. We're going to start running it into our rail. Then we're going to get back here and line our brackets up. Line our bracket and our rail up with the hole in our canister. And we're going to go ahead and run the screws in for it. Alright, now we're going to install the back cover that goes over the back edge of your canister and up against the cab of your truck. You want to be sure that your weather strip is facing, of course, towards the truck. We're going to slide this piece right under our bed rail until those holes line up. Alright, so once you get this slid in place and get your holes lined up, you want to be sure and use your Allen head screws at this point to attach your side rails to this top cover. Alright, so at this point we're ready to, with a little bit of help, we're ready to go ahead and lift this up and get it in position in the back of the truck. Alright, once you've got it in the truck, you want to be sure that your weather strip here against the back of your cab is pulled out. You just want to work it out all the way down this back edge. Alright, so now that we've got the canister and the rails in place, we're going to go ahead and make sure that our rails are pushed all the way forward. We're going to close our tailgate gently. And And then we're going to use the plastic that came when it was shipped, that little plastic piece that we removed earlier. We're going to use it as a spacer. This top edge is 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to use this spacer between, right in here in this corner, between the rail and the tailgate, just to be sure that we've got the proper amount of space. So we're just going to put our spacer in there. We're going to gently pull our rail towards us until we get it against our spacer here, and that looks good. So then we're going to get this side set, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, so now we're going to take our clamps that go on the side rails. We're going to get them in place with the large side of the clamp towards the back and this narrower side of the clamp towards the front. We want to be sure that the teeth of the clamp engage on the teeth of our rail here, and we're going to put it right here between these two plastic spacers. We're just going to finger tighten it for now. We're going to come back and get some measurements between each side of the bed rails in just a few minutes, and we may end up having to loosen or tighten up these plastic jam nuts on each side. So just finger tighten them for now. With an 8-foot bed like in my 350, there's 3 sets of these clamps. So we're going to do the front and the back ones, and then we'll do the ones in the center, and then we'll go and do the other side. I'm just loosely tightening these at this point, just to get them to stay in place. Couldn't get them quite tight enough on my fingers. Boy, he put so much grit in this rhino liner, it hurts to slide around back there. He said, I put extra grip in it for you. He wasn't lying, son. All right, so now that we've got the clamps loosely on, we're gonna get us a measurement from rail to rail right here across the back cover. My truck's about 59.5. So now we're going to do the same thing at each position across the truck where those plastic grommets are, or excuse me, plastic jam nuts are, and we want to match that same measurement. We're good there. Here we're a little tight, so I'm going to adjust those out a little bit. And we want to do them equally on this side and the other side. We don't want one side closer than the other. We want to be sure that we back these out an equal distance on each side. So I'm just going to kind of pay attention to how much I'm turning them. That gets us to where we need to be. So in total it took about 4 turns. In total it took about 4 turns to get them where we needed to be on my truck. But everybody's is going to be a little different. Just pay attention to your tape measure. Alright, so now that we've got the cover in place and got our rails tightened down, we can go ahead and remove this plastic, this protective cover that's on our canister. Now at this point we're ready to put in our 2 tubes that go from the bottom of the canister out through a grommet in the front of the cab there, or in front of the bed, excuse me, so that the water can drain out. But I'm out of time on this job for this evening, so I'm gonna have to do that one tomorrow. But as you can see, it wasn't a bad install overall. The main thing to pay attention to is which screws you're putting where when you're putting the side covers, when you're attaching those. The 4 matching silver screws that they sent are the ones that you want to use to attach your rails to your canister. And then use your 2 Allen head screws on your back panel. And once you get that done, it's a pretty straightforward process. Overall, the install took a little over an hour, but that was with me fiddling with screws. So not a bad job. I'm looking forward to having this cover on my truck. I'll probably do a recap video or just a video to a review of the bed cover after I've used it for a little while. But I'm excited to have it on my truck, to be able to hook my 5th wheel up in the back of the truck, and then to be able to pull the bed cover up to it and have some protected space up here at the front. So we're excited about having it on here, and I'll let you know in the future in another video how it works out. So thanks for following along. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that subscribe button, like this video, give us a comment, and let us know what you think. So thank you for following Yonder South, and we'll see you next time.